How to choose your first project? Using Unity 3D, the possibilities are pretty much endless. You can create anything from a simple puzzle game to a fully realized 3D first person shooter. Thanks, thanks to Moore's law, the capabilities of average smartphone are now such that near console quality titles are able to fit in your pockets. That means using Unity 3D, we can make high-end games like console quality games. And thanks to Moore's law means that semiconductor technologies are evolving and thus processing capabilities of smartphones are ever increasing. So console quality games are fitting in our pockets now. But that does not mean you should set out to make the next Call of Duty. It is entirely possible to develop a highly detailed 3D game for Unity, but that doesn't mean you should. So that means you should not at first in your first attempt you should not go for Call of Duty because these games are complex. So because they involve a lot of 3D stuff. This is where the vast majority of first time developers go wrong. So this is where first time developers are going wrong, and it is one of the first and most important take home messages you need to learn from this book. So this is an important message that at your first attempt you should not go for complex stuff. Simply put, most first time developers have aspirations that far outstrip their capabilities. They simply overlook the need to regain in their ambitions for their first projects. So they want their first project to be massive or huge, and that is where they go wrong. You will need cutscenes, voiceovers, musics, sprawling play areas, multiple levels for one person in this project. So if you go too complex in your first project, so you will need cutscenes, then voiceovers, musics, sprawling play areas, multiple levels, etc. So which is difficult for your first game. That could take years and years, by which point technology would have moved on and everything you created would probably end up looking outdated. That's essentially what happened to Duke's Nukem Forever, and that was a game with a large experienced studio behind it. So Duke Nukem Forever was a game which became outdated. This is one reason why the most successful indie games tend not to sport the most lifelike graphics. They instead choose original art styles that are eye catching while simultaneously reducing workload for creators. The best strategy for creating a successful indie title. Look at something like Limbo, a game available for Xbox, PlayStation, Windows, and mobile. This was an early indie hit and sold incredibly well and made big splash in gaming community. So Limbo was a very popular game. This was possible partly this was possible partly thanks to art style which entirely used silhouettes that suited the tone and the image of the game while also looking stunning and visually interesting. So thanks to art style which entirely use silhouettes, that means thanks to art style that means art style of that game was very good, and as the indie game it did well. Better yet, by choosing to work with silhouettes, Playdead drastically reduced the amount of detail needed for sprites and game and in-game elements. So it reduced so use of Unity reduced uh, amount of detail needed for sprites. Now, of course, not every game can use silhouettes, but you are going to need to think outside the box. One option that is particularly popular is to use pixel art. This is a retro looking style that emulates graphics from uh, old old 8 and 16-bit consoles. So pixel art is a emulator which which emulates graphics from old 8 and 16-bit consoles and has very nostalgic appeal. So pixel art is also useful.